Hi, I'm Justin with Warne, and today we're going to go over some scope mounting solutions for popular CZ centerfire rifles. What I have on the bench is a 557, which uses the same mounting platform as the 550 and some older models as well. CZ also offers different dovetail size for the 527, which we offer some mounts for, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. So what makes the 557 and the 550 mounting platform unique is that it's a 19mm dovetail. You're not going to find that on many other rifles out there in the world, and the position of the recoil lug is only at the rear dovetail and it's off to the side. It's actually this slot here. So we offer a few different options for it. I have a set of our quick detach rings, and you'll notice that on one of the rings on the side, we actually have a protrusion coming down. That is the recoil lug, so it can only be used on the rear dovetail. So we're going to go over the mounting installation instructions for this set of rings. And the first thing we're going to do is actually pull all 4 screws out of each ring. So the next step is that we're going to install the ring halves onto the scope tube. And to do that, we have to make sure that the rear piece that has the square notch coming down has to be on the left side of the rear position of the scope. And in this case, the levers are going to be on the right side. You can only run the levers on the right side of the scope for the CZ rifles just due to the recoil lug position. And we're going to tighten the bottom 2 screws and just start the top screws, maybe a thread or 2, but no tension on them. And we're going to do the same thing with the front ring, but of course in this case there is no recoil lug sticking down. It's just the dovetail. So once we've snugged up the bottom screws, we're actually going to go through and torque all 4 of the bottom screws, and we're going to use our TW1 25 inch-pound torque wrench for that. Next step is we're going to loosen the levers and make sure they're in an open position so they can fit over these dovetails. And we're going to kind of slide the rings around until it looks like it's actually going to fit on the dovetails. Now when I put the rear ring on, this little square recoil lug has to fit down inside of that notch. And like our other Maxima rings, when we seat the recoil key, we're going to put pressure forward toward the muzzle as we tighten the lever. No need to do that with the front because it's just sitting on the dovetail, and that's all that's holding it in place. So once we have both rings installed onto the dovetail, we're going to set our eye relief and level our reticle. When we're done doing that, we're going to go back through and tighten the top 4 screws. And after we've snugged down the top 4 screws, we're going to go back through again with our TW1 25 inch-pound torque wrench, and we're going to torque all 4 of those screws to 25 inch-pounds. Now we're set to bore sight and go to the range. So another very popular CZ rifle is the 527. Now we offer rings to fit that dovetail as well, but there's a couple differences between the 527 and the 557 or 550. So the 527 uses a 16mm dovetail, and it also has a different position for the recoil lug. So it's still on the rear dovetail like the 550, but it's not off to the side. It's actually cut into the top of the dovetail. So the rings that we offer, the rear ring actually has a screw going up into the bottom of it. Now we use a screw so that it's removable because there's some older Brno models that also use a 16mm dovetail that don't have a slot for any kind of recoil lug. So if you have one of those models, these may be an applicable ring. You would just remove that set screw. But we offer the 527 rings as well as the 550 rings in 1 inch and 30mm tube size, in a medium or high height, and in a fixed or quick detach. Thanks for watching.